easy go.
What's up, YouTube? Hey, I'm back. I'm that guy. Hey, I'm gonna cook one of my family's favorite pastime, no meat meal today. We're gonna have some eggplant. I love to eat this when we're trying to not eat so much meat. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this and probably in less than 15 minutes have a meal ready. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a wet and dry mix. We're gonna start with our dry mix with this complete seasoning, some lemon pepper and pepper, and some cornmeal. That's gonna be our dry. And for our wet mix, to make it have some body and hold, we're gonna have an egg and some buttermilk and the eggplant. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna mix our wet. We're gonna mix this egg here and the buttermilk. We're gonna put a little bit of lemon pepper in there to take the tartness out of the eggplant. Then we're gonna mix our cornmeal here. Sorry for not measuring everything, but we're just going by eye. So we have a small eggplant. We're gonna put a little bit of this dry seasoning, this complete seasoning, into the cornmeal. So we're trying not to put so much in there, so it'll cut down on the saltiness because we're trying to cut down on our salt. So we're gonna mix this dry mix in here. Can't forget the pepper. We're gonna mix our dry mix up in here, our wet mix. Mix it up very well so you don't get clumps of yellow or white when you dip your eggplant in here. I'm going to mix this up by hand. Remember, we're going to have a 1-2 mix. We're going to 1, mix it in the wet, 2, mix it into the dry, and then into the frying pan. We're going to cut our eggplant up here, cut off the skin. We like eating this on the weekends, and it's a very fast meal. Cook it with a little rice, a little gravy, and it helps for us not eating so much meat. You want to cut it in small sizes, not so thin but not so thick. You want it potato chip size. So this eggplant is a small, so we should get about 15 or 20 cuts out of it. You don't want it so thin because if you cut it real thin, it's going to burn in the grease. And you don't want it too thick because when you put it in the grease, then the inside will not cook all the way as fast as the outer part. So you want to cut it to an even thickness all the way around. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the grease. The grease has already been getting heated here. Remember, this is going to be a wet dry, so I'm going to dip it in the egg batter, buttermilk. My mother used to make this for us when we were in the South a lot, so I love this meal. I try to pass it on to my daughter and my kids. So they cook really fast. Try to have the grease at around 275. So by the time you get about 5 or 6 in there, it'll be time to flip them. So remember, you want to dip it in the wet, then go to the dry, both sides. Try to shake off a lot of the excess cornmeal, because it'll all fall off in the batter and clump up. So we're going to move over to the frying pan here so I can show you the color of what you're trying to look for. The little ones are the best, I say, because they're really, really crispy. My daughter says they taste like a potato chip when they're cooked just right. So I'm going to move over here and wash my hands off. Remember, our grease is at the 250, which is a medium high. Turn the light on here. Turn up. So you want them a nice golden brown. You don't want them a light, bright white. So you want a light golden brown. See how the corners are getting brown here? We do our green tomatoes in the same consistency with buttermilk, egg, and cornmeal. A lot of people cook their tomatoes or eggplants in flour. I don't like that. I gotta have a little bit of a crunch. So we're gonna flip these, and today a little bit darker than this. They have a really good crunch. All right, and we're back. We're just gonna do these last few. As I said before, you want them a nice golden brown, as like this bunch here. We're going to finish off these last few here. We're going to plate them up and then sit down with the family and have a little bit to eat. Remember, you must flip constantly to get a consistent color and a consistent cook. Remember 250, and then it'll be golden brown. At least 4 to 5 minutes for each side. Alright YouTube, we're back. Hey, we're all set here, ready to eat, the family and I, my daughter's video. And so one day you guys are going to see her. My wife here, being a southern boy that I am, gotta add a little bit of Louisiana on it. So let's try these out here. We had some short grain white rice. We don't really like the long grain. I had made some chicken gravy with mushrooms earlier. So that's what I'm having with mine. My daughter likes the mushroom gravy. My wife is just having some regular short grain white rice here. White rice. Sorry for the tongue tie here. But we're gonna try these out. We like them really, really crispy. So when you cut into them, you should hear a crunch. Like that. When they're too soft and muggy, they won't hold their body. They'll be really soft inside and it won't be so crispy. That's the reason why we do the wet batter, so it still holds the cornmeal. When you don't do a wet batter, usually the dry batter will fall off a lot in the cooking grease. So we're gonna try these out. Really crunchy, not so wet inside. And try the white rice. Very good. So that's going to do it for us today here. I'm that guy. Subscribe, hit that notification, so when we make some videos, you'll be able to be notified. If you have and like this recipe, or if you see a way that I can up it a little bit, or if you like it, hit that subscribe button or leave me a message. Once again, I'm that guy, and I'll see you soon.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.